In today's exploration, we delve into a profound biblical story filled with faith, promises, and dire consequences. Join me as we uncover the dramatic saga of Jephthah and the enduring lessons it imparts. Before we meet Jephthah, we must understand the tumultuous waters in which he swam. The children of Israel, God's chosen people, walked a path fraught with missteps. Time and again they strayed from the divine covenant, lured by the siren song of idolatry and disobedience. Oppression from neighboring tribes, famine, and internal strife became their bitter harvest. Yet even in their failings, God, in his infinite mercy, never abandoned them. He raised up judges, charismatic leaders like Gideon, Deborah, and Samson, imbued with divine strength to deliver his people from their enemies. They set the stage for Jephthah's story, a man born into a nation grappling with its identity, forever teetering between obedience and rebellion. Jephthah's story begins not in a palace or a temple, but on the fringes of society. Born to Gilead, a mighty warrior and an unnamed concubine, Jephthah bore the stigma of illegitimacy from birth. His own family, bound by tradition and prejudice, cast him out, denying him his rightful inheritance. Forced into exile, Jephthah sought refuge in the untamed lands of Tob. There he gathered around him a band of rugged individuals, men drawn to his strength and leadership. Through hardship and adversity, Jephthah honed his skills as a warrior, his reputation growing with each passing battle. Yet, beneath the hardened exterior, the pain of rejection lingered, a constant reminder of the injustice he had suffered. As fate would have it, the very people who had once cast Jephthah aside soon found themselves in desperate need of his strength and leadership. The Ammonites, a fierce and relentless enemy, were at their doorstep, threatening to overrun their land and destroy their homes. Fear gripped the hearts of the elders of Gilead as they realized the gravity of their situation. They knew their own armies were no match for the Ammonite horde, which seemed invincible and unstoppable. In their desperation, their thoughts turned to the outcast, the warrior who had honed his skills in the wilderness, far from the comforts of home. They swallowed their pride, their past transgressions, and sent a delegation to Jephthah, hoping he would come to their aid. Imagine their surprise when Jephthah received them, not with bitterness or resentment, but with a willingness to listen and consider their plea. The elders pleaded with Jephthah, acknowledging their past mistreatment and promising him leadership over all Gilead if he agreed to lead them in battle against the Ammonites. Jephthah, torn between the pain of the past and the hope of the future, faced a pivotal decision. Would he let go of the bitterness and embrace the chance to lead his people, or would he turn his back on those who had wronged him? The weight of the situation pressed heavily on Jephthah's shoulders. He knew the task before him was monumental, the odds stacked against him. In this moment of uncertainty, Jephthah sought solace and guidance from the God of his fathers, the God who had delivered Israel time and again. And so, in a moment of fervent prayer, Jephthah made a vow, a solemn promise to the Almighty. "If you give the Ammonites into my hands," he declared, "whatever comes out of the doors of my house to meet me when I return in triumph, I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering to you." It was a rash vow, born out of a desperate desire for victory. Bolstered by his vow, Jephthah rallied the men of Gilead. He ignited a fire in their hearts, reminding them of their heritage, their God-given strength, and so they marched, a united force, their spirits lifted by Jephthah's leadership. The ensuing battle was fierce, a clash of swords and shields, of courage and desperation. Jephthah, a whirlwind of strength and fury, led from the front, his every blow fueled by years of pent-up anger and a burning desire for justice. The tide of battle turned. The Ammonites, initially confident in their superior numbers, faltered. Victory was theirs. Jephthah, hailed as a hero, returned home, his heart filled with a mixture of relief and trepidation. The doors to his home swung open, creaking under the weight of the moment, and a chill ran down Jephthah's spine, a sense of foreboding gripping his heart. It was not a servant or a friend who greeted him, but his daughter, his only child, dancing with joy at his safe return. Her laughter echoed through the air, a stark contrast to the dread that filled him. His heart sank deeper with every step she took towards him, her face glowing with happiness. The weight of his vow, a promise made in a moment of desperation and fear, now crushed him like a heavy stone. The vow he had made in a moment of desperation now crushed him. Regret washed over him like a relentless tide. His daughter, oblivious to the turmoil in her father's heart, rushed to embrace him, her arms wide open, her smile untainted by the darkness that loomed. Torn between his love for his daughter and the perceived obligation to his vow, Jephthah found himself trapped in a horrifying dilemma. He tore his robes, his voice thick with anguish as he revealed the vow he had made. The young woman, her initial joy replaced with unimaginable horror, pleaded with her father, his voice thick with anguish as he revealed the vow he had made. The young woman, her initial joy replaced with unimaginable horror, pleaded with her father. She begged for time, not to escape her fate, but to mourn her unfulfilled life. Her initial joy replaced with unimaginable horror, pleaded with her father. She begged for time, not to escape her fate, but to mourn her unfulfilled life, her virginity, in the mountains with her companions. She begged for time, not to escape her fate, but to mourn her unfulfilled life, her virginity, in the mountains with her companions. Jephthah, his heart shattered, granted her request. He watched as she left, knowing that his life and hers would never be the same again. In the solitude of the mountains, amidst the whispers of the wind and the rustling of leaves, Jephthah's daughter found a strange sort of peace. Initially she railed against her fate, questioned the fairness of it all, but as the days turned into weeks, a quiet acceptance settled over her. She found solace in knowing that her death would not be in vain. She returned to her father, her eyes reflecting a wisdom beyond her years, her heart filled with a profound sense of duty. She was ready to face her fate, to honor her father's vow, even if it meant sacrificing her own life. Her courage, her willingness to accept her fate, stood in stark contrast to her father's despair. The story of Jephthah's daughter does not end with her tragic sacrifice. Each year, the daughters of Israel would set aside 4 days to commemorate the sacrifice of Jephthah's daughter. They would gather, mothers and daughters, sisters and friends, to mourn her untimely death, to remember her lost potential. They would sing songs of lament, their voices echoing through the hills and valleys, a poignant reminder of the human cost of rash promises. It became a ritual of remembrance, a way to honor the memory of a young woman whose life was cut short. Through these annual gatherings, the daughters of Israel ensured that the story of Jephthah's daughter would not be forgotten. She would live on, not just as a victim of circumstance but as a symbol of sacrifice, her story woven into the fabric of their collective memory. The story of Jephthah, though rooted in a specific time and place, carries within it universal truths that resonate throughout the ages. It serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the importance of careful consideration, of weighing our words and actions. Jephthah's vow, born out of desperation and a fervent desire to please God, highlights the danger of making promises without considering their full implications. It underscores the need for prudence, for seeking wisdom and guidance before making life-altering decisions. The tragic outcome of his vow serves as a stark reminder that our actions have consequences, not just for ourselves, but for those we love most. It challenges us to consider the potential impact of our choices, to strive for a balance between faith and reason. The story also compels us to examine the nature of sacrifice. Centuries have passed since the events of Jephthah's story unfolded, yet its impact continues to resonate through time, echoing through the ages and influencing countless generations. It has been the subject of countless interpretations, its themes explored in art, literature, and music. Artists have painted vivid scenes, writers have penned thought-provoking narratives, and composers have created haunting melodies inspired by Jephthah's tale. Theologians and scholars have debated the morality of Jephthah's vow, its implications for our understanding of God's nature, and the complexities of faith. These debates have spanned centuries, with each generation bringing new perspectives and insights. Some argue that Jephthah erred in making such a rash promise, while others maintain that he was bound by his word, however misguided it may have been. This dichotomy reflects the broader human struggle with promises, duty, and moral dilemmas. The story has also sparked discussions about the role of women in society, the sacrifices they are often expected to make, and the importance of valuing their lives and contributions. These conversations continue to be relevant today, highlighting ongoing issues of gender and societal expectations. Beyond its theological and social implications, Jephthah's story has also found its way into popular culture. It has been adapted into plays, films, and even referenced in modern literature, showcasing its enduring relevance. Whether viewed as a cautionary tale, a testament to faith, or a reflection on the human condition, Jephthah's story continues to captivate and challenge us. Its themes of sacrifice, duty, and moral complexity resonate deeply, reminding us of the timeless nature of these human experiences. As we reflect on these poignant biblical narratives, let us consider the weight of our words and the promises we make. May we strive to live our lives with intention, seeking wisdom and guidance in all that we do. The story of Jephthah serves as a timeless reminder that even the most faithful among us are capable of making grave errors in judgment. Thank you for joining me on this dramatic journey through Scripture.